Hi guys, it's been a while since I dropped a video. This one's been filmed for a while, and as you'll see from the older footage, I have changed a little bit. Had a haircut, and there is a reason why this video has taken so long to make. It is me trying to install, I say try because it's not fully finished yet, the front and rear sway bars from Eibach. Now I don't want to give too much away, but it did not go to plan, and that's why it's taken so long. So yes, there was snapped bolts and there was quite a severe drilling accident that you'll find out later in the video. After finishing the voiceover yesterday, I've got my excitement back for the build again, and it's not the only reason it took so long to make this video, but it is one of them, and I'm excited to get back to it and share the build with you. So without further ado, let's start the complete disaster of front and rear sway bar install. Once the car was up on jack stands, I started using a 13mm socket to lower the exhaust. This is a 16mm wrench and 6mm triple square to remove the nuts securing each of the rear sway bar end links. I did struggle on one side of this and I couldn't actually release it properly. So in the end I went under the car and I took off the end link just like this. Next I'm using a 10mm triple square to remove the 4 bolts attaching the sway bar to the rear subframe. And this is where it starts going a little bit downhill. As you can see here, I snapped one of the M8 bolts attaching the sway bar to the subframe. My first idea was to cut a groove in the snapped bolt that's still in the subframe and then try and use a screwdriver to release it. Again, not going to plan. After messing about with this for way too long, it did not work. So trying to forget that for a minute, I slowly wiggled the old sway bar out. This is why you need to lower the exhaust a little bit, as you can see, it's quite tight in there.
That's what she said!
After a bit of perseverance and lowering the exhaust a little bit more, I get my first victory. We finally get the sway bar off. So I got the rear sway bar off, but one of the rear end links is still attached. So this is me in my apartment trying to drill out the 6mm triple square so I can reuse the end links on the new sway bar. As you're about to find out, this was not my smartest idea, as I ended up snapping the drill bit and drilling straight through my thumb. So, between snapping the bolt in the subframe and getting it stuck, and then drilling through my thumb, it actually went that way. You can't really see it too much now, it's just a little lump of sort of, I don't know, scar tissue or something, but I got away with it. I can move my thumb, so I won't be doing that again just to save a couple €100. I ended up buying some rear sway bar links from 034, they look sick, and they will be going on the car. So spoiler alert, that's part 2, is the sway bar on the rear didn't get put on in this video, and it's still in the boot of the car. So this next part is the front sway bar install. I started the rear first because I thought it'd be the easiest one. You take the 2 end bar links bolts out, 4 bolts attaching the sway bar to the subframe, and then swap the sway bar, put the new one in, boom, it's done. But as you can see, it didn't end like that. After drilling through my thumb, it took a while to be able to sort of like actually grab something or want to move it around. But I took some time off and eventually went back and dropped the front subframe, got the front sway bar on, and as you'll see from this, it was harder, but there was no injuries. So this next part is me putting the new front sway bar on, and it did go a lot better. So there you go.
First I'm removing the front sway bar end links, making sure I've done both sides. Now the oil pan sensor. This is a 13mm socket to remove both the bolts securing the downpipe. An 18mm socket to remove the 2 bolts securing the steering rack from the subframe. Next the 2 bolts securing the front subframe bracket to the chassis. And a 16mm socket for the other 4 bolts. Next I'm removing the 2 bolts securing the dog bone to the bottom of the transmission. And with the trolley jack supporting the subframe, I'm using an 18mm socket with an extension to remove the bolt on each side of the vehicle securing the front subframe to the chassis. Next is a 13mm socket removing the 4 bolts attaching the sway bar to the subframe. Next you want to lower the subframe on the trolley jack, pull the old sway bar out and replace it with the new one. Now you've just got to repeat all those steps in reverse. Replace the 4 sway bar bracket mounting bolts. Raising the subframe back up with the trolley jack. As you're doing this, make sure that the oil pan sensor that you can see hanging down here isn't getting pinched. Loosely install the bolts securing the front subframe, both sides. Torque the 4 bolts attaching the sway bar to the subframe to 40 Nm. Attach the 2 larger bolts securing the subframe mounting brace to the subframe. And these are torqued down to 70 Nm plus 180 degrees turn. Next the 4 smaller ones. Torqued to 20 Nm and a 90 degree turn. Next, the 2 bolts securing the steering rack to the front subframe, and these are torqued to 70 Nm with a 90 degree turn. Replace the oil sensor. Reinstall the 2 bolts securing the dog bone arm to the transmission. I have the APR aftermarket one, so the torque specs will be different for the OEM. Now I'm attaching the exhaust hanger to the front subframe using the 2 13mm bolts. We're almost there. Here I'm attaching the right sway bar end link to the new sway bar. And finally on the left hand side.
So that's it for part 1. The front sway bar's in. I've had a wheel alignment so the car drives straight again. In the next part, it's going to be me finishing this install completely, the rear sway bar going on, extracting the screw, and carrying on with the build. I'm super excited. It's been way too long. It's been stalled, and I can't wait to carry on building this car, sharing the build process with you. So thanks for watching. Sorry it's taken so long to get this video out. I promise we're not going to stop.